Welcome to Grand Sumo Breakdown,
the unofficial sumo podcast
for official sumo fans.
Attaboy, get it out of the way, and Jake's gone.
No, I'm still here.
Perfect. Is this a bit? Are we supposed to go on without your camera?
Yeah, it's a bit.
Okay. Well, in that case, welcome to Grand Sumo Breakdown. This is Ryan. Oh my god.
This is Hakuh I.
This is Flyric.
And unfortunately, well, let's go back a second. When Jake said this is Hakuh I, that he said that because he is wearing a mask of Hakuh I. It is actually Jake. I am led to believe.
No, it is I. I've decided to join the podcast finally.
Well, you know what? There's nothing more grand than having the grandest Yokozuna of all time. So Hakuh I, we are very happy to have you here to offer your insight on the upcoming Hatsu 2023 Basho as we preview that now. As of today, it is Tuesday, 5 days before the Basho. So if there's any upcoming news about Kyujos, we don't know about it, so we won't be able to talk about it. You may also notice that in addition to the absence of Jake, we have Mac that has not sounded off yet. Mac is currently, unfortunately, in hour number 2 of warranty talk with his dishwasher people, LG. So if he's able to get off the phone with them in time, he will hop on the episode and we will be very happy to have him here. But unfortunately, as all of our schedules work out, this is basically the only time we can record this episode, so we're not able to postpone it to have Mac join us. Hakuh I, I don't know if you are, sorry, I believe Hakuh Ozeki would be the proper term to address you by.
I appreciate the respect.
Yes. I don't know if you're up on U.S. amateur sumo, but is that something you'd be able to give us an update on? How hot is that, Jake?
Oh, it's so damp in there. Oh, I was breathing in there for like 30 seconds and it was just already just wet.
Oh my God, it's Jake. Hakuh I just took off his face and it's Jake underneath.
Sorry if that was disturbing to any of our younger viewers. Seeing a man rip off his face to reveal that he was a different face.
So very lifelike.
Oh, I'm going to switch it back over to my headphones because I can barely hear you guys.
Good. Now we can finally start this podcast.
In addition to wet, it was also deafeningly loud in there every time I talked.
Yeah. I think my favorite part is when you tried to drink a beer. Just kind of like...
I was hoping there was a mouth hole. I was also hoping that I might be able to find a straw amongst my desk crap, but I was not able to. Oh yeah, amateur sumo, I think is what you were asking me about.
Yes. Well, I asked Hakuh Ozeki, but you'll do.
But I'll do.
Yeah.
Okay. I honestly, I probably do know more than Hakuh Ozeki does on this particular topic, if I'm being honest. We
Sorry,
actually
Miyagino.
have...
No, yeah, he is Miyagino now. I forgot. Go ahead.
You fool.
Go ahead.
Anyways, I will have to just rattle these off pretty quick because I have a decent number of events to go through. We finally, by we, I mean I finally got our December newsletter issue out. Go check that out. It's on grandsumobreakdown.wordpress.com. You can check out.
Did you have some major life-altering event that caused the release of it to be delayed?
I don't know what you could be talking about. Also, I think I hear him crying.
No. Well, that's the wife's problem now. You're
Yes,
in the
it
zone.
is.
You're in the podcast zone. You can't not be disturbed.
Exactly.
At least that's what I tell my wife every time I come in here.
We can't ever tell them that it's really not that big of a deal to interrupt briefly. Okay. Anyways, events coming up. The very first one, we have a open seminar by Iron Wave Sumo. This is in Orlando on January 21st. As far as tournaments go, I have a handful for you. The first one is February 11th. That's the Mighty Eagle Team Tournament in San Antonio. Then we have the SoCal Open, February 25th in San Diego, California. Go check out the newsletter for more information or check out the local clubs. the biggest event we got coming up is Nationals. 2023 Nationals will also be in Orlando. That's on March 11th, 2023. I will be there. I will be helping Iron Wave Sumo run the event. And I don't know what else is in Orlando. I can't imagine there's anything else that I'll do there. It's not a very exciting city, but
No, very boring.
yeah. We also have the Kuma Sumo Bash. This is a junior tournament only, hosted by Antioch Sumo. That's the first, as far as I'm aware, high school sumo club in the modern era in Nashville, Tennessee. That is March 25th. Wow. So adults are, of course, welcome, but more on a demonstration or instruction basis. The tournament itself is going to be just for juniors, which I also think that is the first of its kind in the modern era. I know there was a lot of stuff with like junior wrestlers and stuff like back in 70s, 80s in Hawaii in particular. But as far as like current generation of sumo stuff, this is potentially a first.
In America, yeah.
Yeah. And last one that I have for you, it was just recently confirmed that August 5th in North Lanarkshire, Scotland, there will be the Scottish Sumo Open on August 5th. So if you have
we're
a particularly
branching out.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I'm hoping to have a little bit more international stuff, but American Sumo is definitely going to be where we focus our efforts because we can actually go to some of that. So
Actually, I'm pretty sure most of our efforts are focused on international sumo.
Get wrecked.
Does Ozumo count as international, or is it like national but a different national?
So Tochinoshin's from Georgia, so
it's a different national.
That's international.
So... yeah, you're right. Okay, you're right. Our amateur sumo coverage is mainly US. Let's see, anything else? I think that is about it. And then there will be another newsletter in February, where I will also lay out the stuff that is coming up, but we will have more interview previews on those upcoming tournaments in the next month or few.
All right, sounds good. And before we dive into everything, we want to mention once again that we do have a Patreon. You can sign up at 2 different levels. Our $1 level entitles you to 1 compliment per Basho, which we will be dropping off a batch of in just about a minute or so. And then the second tier, $3 tier, not only will you get 1 compliment per Basho, but you can also ask us any question at any time, and we are bloodbound to answer it on the podcast. We will have a couple of those questions answered here on this episode. So for our current patrons, Baron, Austin, Josh Schaff, Jessica Buckland, King of Salt, Paul Simpson, Jeffrey Armando, the evil Rob Lunsford, Stephen Ward, Alex Hearn, Summer, Mosho Gaeru, Mark Burgess, Giuseppe Salico, and Beth Comer, the YDC West would recommend all of you for promotion to Yokozuna. We're YDC West. That's us.
Yeah.
We
YDC East has yet to pick up the phone, but yeah, that's okay.
And they're yet to recognize these amazing people, which is just an absolute travesty.
Yeah. It's a bit of a rivalry thing. I can understand why they're kind of like, hesitant to let us be seen as their equals the way that we really are as far as authority goes.
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah.
So as we do every preview Basho, we need to take a quick look back at the previous Basho with the help of our field correspondent, B. B, take us away.
So do you guys remember how much WWE built up Nakamura versus AJ at WrestleMania? And then they had the finish be both of them kicked each other in the balls, and then they just didn't get up? Yet that's how I feel about the JSA's booking this year. Take the Ozeki. You pick all these guys to refresh the top rank, and then what happens? One gets Yokozuna, one gets suspended, one gets demoted, one will probably be demoted, and the last one you give a token U-show to during the last tournament of the year in case you have to try to sell the public on a rope for him. What's the point? Ozeki has the most specific promotion and demotion qualifications, which means you literally waste 3 months building them up just to need 3 months to tear them down again. And if you want to change the title picture permanently to It's Anybody's Game, that's fine. Stuff like having Hoshoryu get close or Waka early in the year win, sure, the product can evolve. But it's really hard to believe anybody can win when you have one guy make history with a Zensho no Yusho. Like, is this Yoshi's punishment for being too popular? This feels like the Zack Ryder off the stage in a wheelchair bit is punishment for getting himself over. Sumo right now is in WCW territory. They've got a booking committee that obviously doesn't agree with one another. Well, kind of. Everybody seems to agree that they hate Takayasu. But besides that, there's no clear direction. The last thing they all agreed on was Taro and his rope run, but it seems like playing past the pen between new guys win, old guys win, Ozeki wins, etc. And I don't know. Hey, who knows? If clear storyline direction is what the JSA needs, now that he's out of the job in the U.S., maybe Vinnie Mac will have a Japanese number pop up on his caller ID. Anything's possible. See you for Hatsu.
Yeah, I don't know.
Good.
Maybe the booking and the past couple Bashos does kind of line up with Vince McMahon leaving the WWE. Maybe he has been involved in pulling the strings at the JSA and determining who's going to be winning these tournaments. It makes sense. It all lines up. That's some quality reporting there, B. Almost earned you your first buck.
I did love the I guess old school at this point. Shout out to Zack Ryder getting pushed off the stage in a wheelchair.
Mm-hmm.
That was how far back was that? Was that like 2015-ish?
If not further.
Yeah, were we still
It's
in
been a
school
while.
then?
We might have still been in college at the
Oh my
height of
God.
Zack Ryder mania. It's been a while.
It's been a while. Yeah.
All right. That's something nobody has any idea what the hell we're talking about. So let's talk about stuff people know what we're saying. Sumo, Teruno Fuji, he's not going to be here. He's doing some rehab, but there were some notes from the YDC meeting after the Kyushu Basho. It was said that Teruno Fuji would not be returning to Sumo until the Haru Jungyo, which takes place in April. So that means we're not going to have any Teruno Fuji for the upcoming Hatsu Basho or the following Haru Basho. So right now, best intel would say no Teruno Fuji until May, which would be the 1-year anniversary of when he won his last Yusho.
Jesus.
Yeah. So let's move on to all of our Ozeki. All one of him.
Yeah.
Takakeisho. Is he on a belt run right now? So another thing that the YDC inquired of the JSA was if Takakeisho's participation in the 3-way playoff would be considered a Yusho equivalent. The JSA said yes, it would be considered a Yusho equivalent, as it was a June Yusho that occurred in a playoff. So if Takakeisho wins, he may be eligible for promotion to Yokozuna. But the YDC did specify they want to see a very good Yusho. Sounded like a newspaper in Japan interpreted that as possibly a Zensho Yusho for Takakeisho to secure that Yokozuna promotion due to the poor performance that he had earlier in 2022. Something that the YDC compared Takakeisho to was Kisei no Sato, who was promoted who would be the last Yokozuna that was promoted off of a June Yusho followed by a Yusho. And they said that Takakeisho isn't matching the standard that Kisei no Sato had leading up to Kisei no Sato's promotion. Because if you look at Kisei no Sato's full year before he was promoted to Yokozuna, 13-2 June Yusho, 13-2 June Yusho, 12-3 June Yusho, 10-5, 12-3 June Yusho, 14-1 Yusho, and then the Yokozuna promotion. And then we take a look at what Takakeisho is currently doing. 8-7, 8-7, 11-4 June Yusho, 10-5, 12-3 June Yusho. So he's turned it around the past 3 Basho, but those 8-7s, and then if you go back even 1 Basho further, he's pulled out due to injury.
Yeah, not great.
No, not great at all.
However, when you look back on their careers, they have the same number of Yusho.
Overall, yes, but
so that means Takakeisho is Kisei no Sato's equal in all respects. So, and he did it younger, so he's even better, I guess.
There you go. Yeah, we'll see.
Maybe if we go down that rabbit hole even further, we'll finally get JSA East to give us a call back and finally get that restraining order we've been gunning for a while.
We've practically been begging for it.
Yeah.
How about these random 10 people? How would they? Why don't you make them a Yokozuna?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah,
Stop
these
calling
people
us.
that we just complimented.
Yeah. Anyways, but yeah, the comparison of his past year against Kisno Sato's right before promotion, yes, it is a little bit less, but I would also say it's like, his last three is like what, 11-4 Junyusho, 10-5, 12-3 Junyusho with a playoff. And then like the 8-7, like you said, like it's still a pretty damn good year. Like when he's in it, he's in it. So
Mhm.
so
Yeah.
it's kind of cool, I guess, that he has a chance to become Yokozuna from that. I think he's shown his quality like over time and over injuries, which I think is really kind of cool to see. So like I think if he does make Yokozuna, he's probably gonna be one to stick around for a very long time. I think
Yeah.
he's probably ready. Like
You think so?
whether or not he can actually do it, that is the question. Yeah, but I think
So-
he's proven he's Yokozuna quality. Yes.
Let's talk about if he can do it this time, because he's been in this position before. He won the Kyushu 2019 Yusho as an Ozeki, and then he followed that up. I believe he had to pull out of that next tournament due to an injury. So we're in this position again. Jake, what percentage chance do you give Takakeisho to win this Yusho and at least cause a very difficult conversation?
Yeah, he definitely has a higher chance of winning the Yusho than he does of becoming a Yokozuna.
Yeah.
But I think this is one with Teruno Fuji out of the picture. I guess I'd be hard pressed to pick anybody over Takakeisho as the favorite, but we're still like in the post Hakuh era where like being the favorite doesn't mean that you're likely to win. He's
Mhm.
I don't know, maybe I'd spitball that he's got like a 25% chance or something like that. Nobody has better than that, but that's, he's not necessarily likely to win in my opinion. But yeah, I think around 25% would be a good safe place for me to stake my claim there. Maybe lower than it's been in the past, just because we have seen the wildness of the last year or so.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can't really pick anybody above him. But yeah, if he does win the Yusho, I feel like the fact that they said explicitly already that it was a Yusho equivalent, it would be really, really crummy to not give him the promotion, even if it was like a 12-3 or something like that, as opposed to a Zensho. But yeah, I don't know. I guess in my mind, I want him to be promoted to a Yokozuna. So that is definitely biasing my opinion a little bit. But yeah, I think 25% is about where I'll stand. And I do think that he should be promoted regardless of how he wins, if he does.
Okay, so even if he just does back-to-back 12-3 Bashos, Jun Yusho, you would throw the Yokozuna promotion his way.
I'm certainly more trigger happy than JSA or YDC East, but yes, I mean, I think that if I was running it, I would want another Yokozuna when Teruno Fuji is in the shape that he's at.
Okay.
I don't know how much that'll factor into it, but yeah, if you want a Yokozuna at the top of the Bansuke, you can't be super stingy when Teruno Fuji is going on a year without a win here.
Yeah. I guess to play some devil's advocate for Takakeisho, because yeah, I'm a Takakeisho fan. I'm rooting for him. I want him to win the Yusho. I want him to get promoted to Yokozuna. But I can see their hesitancy in possibly promoting him. We've heard I don't know if it's a JSA YDC thing or if it's just a fans thing, but there is a lot of contention over his style of sumo, and a lot of people, for one reason or another, just don't like his style of sumo. Sorry, his arms are too short. He can't grab a belt. What do you want him to do?
How dare he?
And so that leads to questions of consistency. And I think we have seen, when healthy, Takakeisho is the most consistent non-Teruno Fuji Rikishi that we have seen over the past 3-4 years, really. But the big issue is, when healthy, right now he's on a 5 Basho streak of completing each and every tournament, but that's the longest streak he's had of being healthy in how many years?
Since before he was Ozeki, so 2019.
Yeah, he's 26 right now, and he's already having health issues where he's missing 1 or 2 Basho a year. I could see them wanting to be absolutely sure that he has done everything to prove that he deserves to be a Yokozuna. And honestly, in my mind, 12-3, like, yeah, it was a playoff for the Yusho and he lost it, but 12-3 isn't an overwhelming Yusho for me. I can see the hesitancy after 12-3 where you don't even win the Yusho, where you might want to see a bit more than just another 12-3 Yusho. This is Yokozuna, that he would be the 75th, because Terunofuji 74 is Terunofuji 73. I think
Terunofuji is 73.
So yeah, he would be.
I know Hakuh is 69.
Yeah.
Hey.
Then Harumo Fuji 70, Kakuryu 71, Kisei 72. Okay, the math checks out. Okay, but yeah, he would only be
right
the
on my other screen.
74.
No, don't worry, Jake. The math checks out.
Okay, good. We did the math anyways.
Yeah, he would be the 74th Yokozuna of all time. That is a very prestigious position to hold. It has a lot of honor, and the rank needs to be upheld with consistently strong sumo. And even if he wins this 12-3 June Yusho and a 12-3 Yusho, is that I mean, it's borderline Yokozuna sumo, so I'm okay with them hedging their bets and saying it needs to be 14. I would be mad at a 14-1 not getting promotion.
Sure.
If they're holding out for a 15-0, that's just rude. But
yeah, okay.
I see where they're coming from, I think.
Yeah. To your devil's advocate, like a little point what you said with that, like to the question of whether or not they need to make sure he's ready for Yokozuna sumo, and this might be a better point for Ozeki, but I think it kind of extends to Yokozuna as well. He's been in the top, like he's been Ozeki for the past 3 years, and like it just like granted he's takes some time off because the Ozeki like ability you can do that, but like I think he's proven like the test of time, as we said, that he has shown that he has quality sumo that is stuck at the second highest rank of in sumo right now for the past 3 years. So I think the quality is probably there, and like he has a lot of Jun Yushos, so I think there's maybe some consistency as well. But the question of not like he's going to be in the fight for the Yusha race usually, at least every other, or at least be able to do spoiler. So I guess the point I'm trying to say, I think his record speaks for the quality of sumo he's doing for itself. Whether or not there might be some like attitude thing as well on top of that, I guess maybe like 2 in a row. But even then, like Yokozuna have like maybe had 2 Yushos in a row, but then they go on, they might never ever accomplish that again.
Yeah.
So that's kind of a weird. I don't know. It's a little weird metric with that. But overall, I would say like the quality of his sumo is pretty solid.
Yeah, especially the back half of 2022 has been the best stretch of his career, really. And we've actually seen Takakeisho get a 12-3 June Yusho, follow it up with a 13-2 Yusho, and he was not promoted after that. So clearly they didn't take that 12-3 June Yusho as a Yokozuna equivalent or a Yusho equivalent at that time. So it's a pretty similar situation here. So yeah, it'll be very interesting to see what happens. Hopefully for us, at least, Takakeisho makes the difficult conversation possible. Even if he does just get a 12-3 and it's a Yusho this time, then I think it's a pretty much a definite for the next one. If he's able to get back to back, then there should be zero question about it at that point.
If he wins 2 in a row at like 11-4 with like a 4-way playoff with a bunch of Magashira or something, I don't care. If he wins 2 in a row, he's got it, right?
Yeah.
But
he's the best of the best at that time.
Yeah. But I guess the way that I would say it is, if he doesn't win, even if he goes like 14-1 and gets a Jun Yusho in this one, that's not doing it. The only thing is it's going to have to be a Yusho, and even then, I think even 13 wins would be kind of iffy. We'll see what they do, but yeah, I agree. I really want to, at the very least, have him force the conversation and see what we can learn from that, because that'll be fun, and it'd be pretty cool if he did get a promotion.
Yep. So let's move on to the Sekiwake rank, where we realistically have 4 guys knocking on the Ozeki door, and I'm guessing that Ozeki door is being held shut with like a toothpick in place for the lock at this point in time with our current Ozeki situation. And hey, we might have 0 Ozeki after this Basho if Takakeisho can prove all of his doubters wrong, and we'll just have 2 Yokozuna Ozeki.
What if what if we get to the end and they're like, oh man, Takakeisho went Zensho, but crap, but then we
Gotta
don't
have
any
those
Ozeki. We gotta hold him back.
Ozeki on the Bansuke.
The most important rule in sumo.
The
that can
most
never be
important
broken.
rule of sumo. There
It
has
trumps
to be 2
every other
Ozeki.
rule.
That's right. So Wakatakakage and Hoshoryu are 2 guys that had fairly similar years. Wakatakakage had more accolades. Obviously, he won a Yusho and Jun Yusho, but both of them had winning records in every Basho in 2022. I don't know if there were any other Makuuchi Rikishi that could match that number. I don't believe there are. And they also had mirror records in their past 2 Bashos as Sekiwake, where Hoshoryu went 8-7 in Aki and 11-4 in Kyushu, and Wakatakakage went 11-4 in Aki and 8-7 in Kyushu. So Jake, which promising Sekiwake will have more wins this Basho between Wakatakakage and Hoshoryu? Which one is going to have the better Basho, do you think?
This individual Basho is what we're talking.
This Basho.
Yeah, this one, I think I currently have a little bit more faith in Wakatakakage in the short term. Just he's got a better record of proving it at these upper ranks where he's got that Yusho from the Sekiwake rank and everything. So like I trust him more because he's already delivered from here. I mean, if you want to talk by the end of the year, I think I might be switched, but like obviously we'll get to that later. But yeah, this time around Hoshoryu had difficulty towards the end of the Basho. And it wasn't necessarily no, I take it back. He did have some substantially more difficult matches towards the end than at the beginning. So like I can't necessarily say one way or the other exactly what the issue is. But I think that like, yeah. So let me just read off his losses. By day 11, he was 10-1. His only loss was to Takayasu, which obviously is a perfectly fine loss to give up in that tournament. But then he got
says you.
Yeah, well, yeah, Takayasu. What are you talking about? Takayasu went 12-3.
That was the Grand Sumo Breakdown 2022 Rikishi of the Year, Flyric.
Mm-hmm.
Put some respect on the man that you voted for.
Yeah, that's true too. I just think it's funny how you say with such convictions, like obviously that's no shame in losing against Takayasu.
Yeah,
no shame.
I stand by that. That's not a hot take.
If he lost to Takayasu on day 15, ooh, whoa, what happened there? He lost to Takayasu on day 4. That's prime Takayasu time.
Okay.
Yeah, on day 4 when Takayasu is at his peak.
Yeah.
But no, and then on day 12, 13, and 14. So yeah, I mean, this had kind of slipped my mind, but Hoshoryu was like our favorite to win the tournament, like at the halfway point, pretty much, right? But then he also lost to Takakeisho and Abi. Again, perfectly reasonable losses to give up.
He lost to the 3 guys in the playoff.
Yeah, exactly. Plus Oho, which is a little bit harder to explain, but not like, I mean, he was still pretty hot, right? He was still doing good.
There's some. It's not just us making that a rivalry. I watched an episode of Sumo Primetime.
They started at the same time, right? Like the exact same Basho.
And they like talked with Oho on that episode of Sumo Primetime, and he brought up like, yeah, I want to be better than Hoshoryu. I want to match Hoshoryu. I definitely came into that match that we had on day 12 in Kyushu. There's a lot riding on that for him because Hoshoryu has outshone Oho at this point in time. So Oho came in there with Hoshoryu was fighting for a Yusho, but Oho came in with a lot of emotion going into that. And I do think that that's cool that it's not just us looking in at it saying, oh, these 2 are like legacy guys that started at the same time. They should be rivals. It's cool that they feel that they are rivals as well.
Yeah.
Or at least Oho.
He is the
He might be little brother, and Hoshoryu is just big brother who doesn't care.
Yeah, he is the Hoshoryu is the Sasuke to Oho's Naruto, as you would say.
I'm rewatching The Good Place, and there was an exchange in the episode I watched today that was absolutely perfect for this situation. It was to the effect of like if Oho went like, I think of you as a role model or something, or I think of you as my rival, and Hoshoryu goes, oh well, I don't think of you much at all.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
It could very well be that situation too. Anyways, though, I think I think I've actually kind of talked my way into actually changing my mind here. Because Wakataka Kage had some rough losses last time around that did not much less justifiable. He lost to Shodai, he lost to Midori Fuji, Tobizaru, and Kodo no Waka, which were all like, those guys are all like okay, but like he should be beating them if he's gonna be, in that top tier conversation. So yeah, I don't know. I guess I changed my mind. Hoshoryu, thinking back on how well he did, especially in the beginning of last Basho. Yeah, maybe his hot streak is enough to overcome my qualms about his total experience at this level.
Yes, Jake. I am glad you're joining the camp of Wakataka Kage overrated and no longer rating him when there was this young upstart of Hoshoryu, the Sasuke of Sumo, if you would.
I will not.
Little emo kid.
I will not, but I will pick Hoshoryu for this Basho.
Okay.
How long ago was that question? That was a while.
Well, it was you rambled for quite a bit. It was a roller coaster. I never do. I like talking about sumo. I'll extend this thing out 3 to 4 hours if you guys didn't stop me.
Yeah. It just enables his rambling for later on, Jake.
Yeah, that's true.
But no, as long as you agree the Wakataka Kage overrated, that's a seed I just need to plant a little bit.
I might
you start
be
with
on
Hoshoryu.
a middle ground here and not fully to the dark side with you.
Oh no, there's no middle ground. There's only the far extremes.
Oh, good Lord.
That's all we got.
To be different, and because I have a different opinion, not just for the sake of being different. I'm gonna go with Wakataka Kage having a better Basho here because I'm looking at Hoshoryu as the 2022 Minnesota Vikings. They get it. If you look at Kyushu for Hoshoryu, just Hoshoryu and Kyushu is the 2022 Minnesota Vikings. There's a lot of wins that you look back on and like he was losing most of the match and then just some bullshit happened at the end, and how the hell did he end up winning? And so his record's a little bit more inflated than what he actually put forward, and you kind of expect him to regress back to the mean at the end of this. And then when he goes up against the strong competition, then he gets leveled and destroyed and put back in his place. And we kind of saw that at the end of the tournament. So I'm thinking much like my Minnesota Vikings for the upcoming year and playoffs, probably going to see a little bit of regression from Hoshoryu this Basho. I mean, there's a lot of luck involved in sumo, and he might just build upon this performance and do even better next time and turn those lucky wins into just straight up wins. Or he could have those coin flips all go against him this time and have a record closer to 8-7, 9-6. Sure. And we could easily see Wakataka Kage do the same thing, but we've seen Yusho and Jun Yusho from Wakataka Kage. So for this Basho, I'm more inclined to believe that Wakataka Kage will be the stronger Rikshi here.
You could make the argument in sumo wrestling that having that little tiny bit of extra skill is what makes those coin flips go in your favor. You can't argue that for the 2022 Minnesota Vikings. It's clearly not skill related. So there's, but I do appreciate the metaphor.
Yeah. Or maybe Hoshoryu is, he goes to his Orochimaru, the person who was cast out from his ninja village, Asashoryu, Asashoryu,
Lord.
Also cast out from sumo. He teaches like the evil ways of, how to get more powerful to beat his Naruto. There's more to this. There's more to this. I think if we keep on writing out this fan fiction, we should get right on this.
We should make whenever
you go right ahead, buddy.
Yeah. Whenever Flyric loses another prediction series, his punish won't matter what we said on the preview episode. It'll just be Flyric has to write like an anime for sumo. I don't know how that works and how we would present that, but Flyric needs to write his sumo anime at some point.
Maybe like a 10-minute fake review of this imaginary anime.
Yeah.
I feel like that'd be a fun one.
Maybe. We'll see.
All right, let's move on to some other Ozeki hopefuls, and we'll talk about Takayasu, who has made it up to Sekiwake 2. So in my mind, I don't think Takayasu can be promoted after this Basho. In the current era, no Rikishi has been promoted to Ozeki with only one Basho of the Ozeki run occurring in the Sanyaku ranks, which is what we're looking at for Takayasu right now. He had 11-4 from Magashira 4, 12-3 from Magashira 1, and then if he got, say, another 11 wins here at Sekiwake, well, there's your 33. Hell, that's 34 over 3. Promote the guy. But with 2 of those occurring in Magashira, I don't think that's going to happen. But at the very least, Flyric, will Takayasu continue his hot streak that he ended 2022 on? And will he be in the Jun Yusho conversation this Basho?
It is tough to say, but you know what? I think he has another Jun Yusho in him, I will say. I'm not sure what I did there. But yeah, I'm going to...
Flyric, don't mess with the outline.
I'm sorry. I thought I was hit something. I tried to undo it, but I think I'm just breaking stuff even more. But no, it's
this is why we took away your keyboard.
Dude, unfortunately, it's too damn sturdy. May have Temple grade switches. But no, it's yeah, I believe in the Takayasu. I think he's definitely getting to the upper edge of the kind of later edge of his career. And his record's kind of been showing that with some kind of iffy consistency. But like he's also showed like when he's there to like his ceiling's still quite high. And I believe deep in my heart he has another Jun Yusho. Whether or not multiple Yushos in a row, we'll see. I'm not sure if we're gonna see the Ozeki Takayasu back just yet, but I think he has another Jun Yusho.
All right, Jake, what is your highly biased take on Takayasu?
I think if he gets at least 9 wins, they should just put him straight to Yokozuna.
There it is.
Yeah, that's the material you were asking for. So yeah, we can move on.
Absolutely. And then we have the guy that I, for some reason, keep forgetting about. But if he gets to 10 wins, I mean, he is the most easy case to make for being promoted to Ozeki next Basho. Shodai's still around. He's Sekiwake 2. If he gets to double-digit wins, against all odds, he would be Ozeki again for the Haru Basho. Jake, Ozeki Shodai, say it ain't so.
It ain't so.
Don't do this to us again.
I don't know. With Shodai, I feel like he's taken up the mantle of the memeiest of the guys in like the upper part of the Bansuke. And if he wasn't gonna like save his Kadoban at the last second, he might as well get 10 wins on the last day by getting a Henka or something weird, right? or like maybe he like loses and it gets overturned for a hair pull, or like I feel like he's the Bellator MMA of upper tier wrestlers, where something weird is gonna happen no matter what. Not always good, not always bad, just weird. I don't know. Realistically, no, I don't think he's gonna get there. I would say the better question might be, does he even get a Kachikoshi here? Based on what we've seen out of him recently, that's probably the over-under for me, as opposed to 10 wins. I unless it's like the memest of memes, I cannot imagine him actually getting back to Ozeki here.
Flyric, what is your reverse psychology for Shodai tell us to expect / not expect from Shodai this Basho?
Ooh, that's the reverse psychology is a little bit too clever. So I'll go with the oldie but goodie of if he gets some more than like 8 or 9, 10 wins, he should probably promote him directly to Yokozuna.
Yes, that is clearly what is going to be happening here. We're going to have a couple of mediocre 8-9 win records from a couple Sekiwake too, and just launch them straight to Yokozuna. Hey, we need to fill it. One way to fill in those Ozeki numbers, just keep filling in the Yokozuna slot so that if you keep having Ozeki drop, hey, at least you got Yokozuna that are always there to be Yokozuna Ozeki. It makes sense.
Like a spork, dual function.
Exactly.
Shodai the spork.
Perfect. I hope we remember that and it sticks.
Already gone. Forgot about it.
Do have hopefully some good news regarding Mac joining us on this podcast. It sounds like he's just waiting on some confirmation numbers from his warranty company.
There you go.
He's been on the phone for an hour and 45 minutes at this point, it would seem. So who knows how long that'll take, but hopefully we will have Mac joining us here sometime soon. Because if we don't, it's going to be real awkward trying to do the predictions without him.
Yeah. Until then, though.
Until then, let's drop down to the Komusubi rank, where we're going to have a pair of Rikishi making their Sanyaku debuts in Koto no Waka and Wakamoto Haru. Flyric, much like Wakataka Kage versus Hoshoryu, which one of these guys do you think is going to perform better in their Sanyaku debut this Basho?
This Basho. I am, of the two, I gave it some thought, and I am going to with Koto no Waka, although thinking about this more, I might just be, my bias against Wakataka Kage might actually be seeping to his brother as well, but we'll see. But there's no bias here, I will say, officially. But Koto no Waka, he is a little bit younger. He's 25 versus 29. He's been in the Joy a little bit longer. Wakamoto Haru has just kind of recently made himself like a mainstay. Koto no Waka, he's been around for like quite some time, like almost a year, I believe. And, he doesn't have to skip Wakataka Kage when he faces people. So he knows he has to hype himself up to do well. While his brother, he
in the
can
range that matters now. Yeah.
Exactly. He's going to have like one free match. He's going to like sleep in a little bit on like a Tuesday or something like that. So he's doomed pretty much.
He doesn't get a day off. He just has to wrestle somebody else.
yeah, but it's like not it's like someone lower, it's like like a Hakuh Fuji, if you would.
Well, according
someone
to you,
below
Flyric,
standard.
Isn't it to Koto no Waka's advantage that he's facing garbage like Wakataka Kage? Isn't this more of a benefit to him? Whereas Wakamoto Haru, oh no, he can't face Wakataka Kage. According to you, hey, he's losing easy competition replaced by somebody that's surely better than Wakataka Kage.
Right,
Yes.
I see you're using the failing strategy of using Flyric's own words against him because he's already forgotten what he said before.
Exactly. But no, it's you normally think that not having to face a stronger Rikishi would be to your benefit of doing well in sumo, but no. In this specific instance of Komusubi, it is going to be a negative because he is going to be a lazy person who just doesn't want to train at all on a Tuesday morning.
All right. On that
my argument might be falling apart on the last bit, but my
you don't.
My heart says Koto no Waka.
Okay. My brain also says Koto no Waka, so I think your heart's in the right place, Flyric, which I find more often than not it usually is. Let's take just a quick pause so that we can get Mac added in to this whole damn thing. Thank Christ. I really didn't want to do the predictions without him.
If you enjoy the Grand Sumo Breakdown podcast, you can leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or your favorite podcast listening service.
You can find us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Just search for Grand Sumo Breakdown.
Support the show on Patreon and check out our blog, grandsumobreakdown.wordpress.com.
If you have any questions, comments, or corrections, drop us a line at grandsumobreakdown@gmail.com or give us a call at 805-613-7866. That's 805-613-SUMO.
Also, watch us on YouTube.
There he is. How's the kitchen floor, Mac?
Damp?
Very wet.
Ah, there we go.
That is not the ideal what's the right word I'm looking for? Dryness
Dampness?
of your floor.
Yeah.
Moist. It's very
Dampitude.
moist.
All right.
I'm just gonna cut out Max saying very wet.
Just do it.
Just pop that in random spots. Okay, we're talking about Komusubis.
We're done talking about Komusubis.
Did we talk about the other Komusubis?
That's okay. We're in the middle of talking of Komusubis.
We're approximately 50% of the way through Komusubis.
All right. All right. Welcome back to Grand Sumo Breakdown. Mac, introduce yourself.
Hi.
We were talking about this right before
Too sexy. Try again.
Finish. Yeah.
Hello.
Much less sexy. Perfect. Tim Curry impression. That's the proper amount of sexy.
Ooh, wait, should I get my costume on?
Please don't.
No, we've already wasted enough time.
We haven't wasted enough.
Mac, we talked about this a little bit in the break that we took waiting for you to hop on here, but can you give our listeners an update on the state of your kitchen floor?
The state of my kitchen floor is quite...
Iowa.
Yes, it is in Iowa.
Shut up.
But unfortunately, the laminate and floor beneath it are quite... Are you kidding me? They're calling me back again. Have fun, guys. Bye.
Just mute and turn off your video for a minute so we don't have to have you hop in and out.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
Jesus.
Well, that was a failed experiment. Hopefully we get Mac back on here soon. So Flyric and Jake, you guys have any thoughts on Kiribayama or Meisei at this point? I don't have anything.
Not
for
really.
those
They're
guys.
pretty good. They're not super good, but they're pretty good.
Kiribayama's better than Meisei.
I am hoping to see him develop the way that Hoshoryu has, where he gets better while still being weird and exciting and trippy, throwy stuff. That's about all I got.
All right.
And Meisei's there.
Yeah. Let's talk about the rikishi that dominated our popularity poll in a negative way, and that is Abi coming off of his Yusho win in Kyushu in very controversial fashion. Jake, how do we think Abi is going to do here? He has shown that he's a 12-3 machine when he's outside of the Joy. But when he gets back into the Joy, into the Sanyaku ranks, we're seeing 8-7 wins out of him consistently. So what are you expecting from Abi here? Ranked at Magashira 3, should be firmly within the Joy, facing a full slate of Sanyaku rikishi. How do you think him coming off the Yusho, what does he do here?
I mean, I feel like you just, in asking the question, you and I
do you think
you
that
and I
trend
think
continues?
similarly? Yes, I do think the trend continues. I expect 7 to 9 wins, I guess. Yes, he absolutely can beat anybody when he is dialed in and when his style works. I guess I would be surprised if he had another big one, but at the same time, it's also not completely impossible. But I would say for me, I'm picking 6 to 9 wins. And I would be surprised, but not completely blown away if he did have another double digit. That's about all I got for him. It's so difficult and not necessarily difficult. I feel like it's kind of pointless to waste a ton of time talking about him when we just can't really predict his style. He's gonna win against guys that struggle against rangy pusher thrusters. He's going to struggle when people grab his belt. That's what we got, I guess.
Yeah. It is interesting looking back at his wins and losses for Kyushu. All of his losses were to rikishi that finished with 9-6 records. So they were doing fine, but not great. He lost to Onosho, Nishiki Fuji, and Ryuden, but he was able to beat Oho when they were both in the Yusho race. Wakataka Kage wasn't in the Yusho race, but he's still a strong rikishi to contend with. Somehow Kagayaki was kind of in contention for a little bit. He beat him, and then he beat Hoshoryu to finish off Hoshoryu's Yusho chances. Then he beat Takayasu twice and Takakeisho on the final day. So he had wins against all the people that were doing the absolute best this Basho, but much as we see in his kind of 8-7, 7-8 Sanyaku stays records, he's losing to guys that he probably shouldn't be losing to. So yeah, I'm not expecting I was tricked by Abi last year where he had the back-to-back 12-3 records from like Magashira 15 and Magashira 6. And then I'm like, oh yeah, Ozeki Abi all the way. I'm this time I'm going to need to see a little bit more. I'm going to need to see that same kind of performance from this rank, from the Sanyaku ranks, which we just haven't ever seen from Abi. So,
yep.
And I mean, Abi's not getting any younger at this point. He's already 28 years old. So it's not like he's going to be having some big breakthrough in his sumo anytime soon, unless he's Tamawashi, but I doubt that he is.
Maybe. You know, when he's like 36, 37, pulling out some of these wins.
That's when he finally puts it all together.
Yep.
I mean, he already put it all together. He just won a Yusho.
Oh, to continue pissing off Kisano Sato stands, Tamawashi, I believe, also has as many Yushos as supposed Yokozuna Kisano Sato. So I don't know. I'm just saying that's
Are you okay? Is the supposedness about whether or not he's the Yokozuna, or what's going on here?
Oh, no, I'm just saying that Tamawashi also has 2 Yushos. That's the same number as Kisano Sato. So they're equals.
Boom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like I'm really forcing this troll angle, but you know, and
Me
I'm having
too.
fun with it.
Yeah,
All right,
everyone
well,
loves
what's next,
Kisano
man?
Sato. What's going on, Jake?
I don't know. we
You're
started
right, he's
it.
trash.
It's just got
Tamawashi, let's go.
Yeah. All right, let's talk a little bit about Ichinojo, as there is a update on him, and that update is he is suspended for the Hatsu Basho. So during the investigation of the allegations against him about striking the Okami-san at Minato Beya and him kind of abandoning the Beya and skipping practice and stuff like that, when he was interviewed by the JSA, he had mentioned breaking COVID protocol by going out when they were all locked down for COVID. So he is getting a 1 Basho suspension for breaking COVID protocols, not for any of the alleged actions that he took. I don't know if there are any forthcoming suspensions or punishment for Ichinojo regarding those allegations. Usually they're pretty quick to judge on something after it's come to light and they've done their interviews, and they've already done all that with Ichinojo. So this might be the extent of the punishment that we're seeing for Ichinojo here. Based on his current rank of Magashira 7 and suffering an 0-15 record, he will be falling down to Juryo. I'm sure he'll make a short stint of that. But do you guys have any other thoughts on Ichinojo at this time?
Seems weird to change what it has been an established punishment for a Makuuchi wrestler breaking COVID protocols.
I think what I saw is Ichinojo like freely fessed up to breaking the COVID protocols.
Okay.
He didn't lie at all to the JSA about doing that, and so he got he wasn't treated like Asanoyama or the Yuden, who I believe both lied during the questioning with the JSA. And
Gotcha.
obviously Asanoyama was an Ozeki at the time. That rank kind of carries more weight, and so have heavier punishment there.
I was out of the loop on that, but yeah, if it's not a direct precedent that we have, then yeah, never mind.
Yeah.
But yeah, either way, that's I don't know. I guess it's tough to I don't know. It's tough to predict Ichinojo anyways, and I hate to say this back to back with saying the same thing about Abi, but like he's been inconsistent enough over the course of his career that I have no idea at all. Is he like already over the hill at 29? Is he gonna like? Is he still in that Yusho form to some extent? I don't know. I have no idea what to expect from him, and at the very least, for 1 more Basho, I don't have to think about it.
Well, 2 more, because we're not going to talk about him a whole lot when he's down in Juryo.
That's a good point. Okay.
Yeah. So we are coming off of an unprecedented streak of 3 consecutive Magashiras winning the Yusho, those being the aforementioned Ichinojo, Tamawashi, and Abi. So we asked it in the Kyushu Basho, and I got the answer right. Which Magashira has the best chance of making it now 4 straight Magashira Yusho. I guess for me, just looking at who we have, I would say it's still got to be Abi. I know we just talked about Abi not performing as well when he's in these ranks, but he's a guy that just won a Yusho. Maybe he's still on fire. Maybe he's still in great form. I would still say Abi would have the best shot of winning the Yusho from the Magashira ranks out of anybody else that's out there. What about you, Flair? Who do you think would have the best chance of winning a Yusho from the Magashira ranks?
Yeah, Abi is old news. You could put your money in the old people with Go Tamawashi. He's got another good one. Now he has like something to prove because all the Kiseno Sato fans are starting to start an online kind of petition against this guy, Tamawashi, you know.
Lots of people are talking about it.
Lots of people are talking about him. So it's Tamawashi, we got pushed back against Kiseno Sato stands because we all know they're a very toxic fan base. So I'm gonna go for good old Tamawashi. You know, you never know when he's gonna pull one out, and we'll see. I believe maybe in the guy.
Maybe. What about you, Jake?
I think the guy, the active wrestler with the second most titles,
Mitakeyumi?
Mitakeyumi has got to be in this conversation.
Not gonna
He's
lie.
down.
Little forgot he was a Magashira.
Yeah.
It just never happens. Why would I think that he was a Magashira this Basho?
If he was at like Magashira 6, like just barely outside the Joy, where he could like feast on like the lower Bansuke, he'd be a, you know, he'd be like a dark horse, like prediction series kind of pick. But as it stands at Magashira 2, he's got all of the same matchups that he's proven he can win Yusho at these ranks. But none of the pressure of being an Ozeki, which was clearly dragging him down. That was the only problem that was going on with Mitakeyumi this year.
I was gonna say, do you not have any concern about the fact that he's looked like garbage for
that
the
he's
past
been
4
absolute
tournaments?
ass this year? Yeah. No, I do not have concerns. No.
Okay. And why would you?
And why would I?
Yeah. Real quick, just want to highlight that we have 6 Rikshi that are going to be at their career high ranks. We've got Kotonowaka Wakamoto Haru at Komusubi, Nishiki Fuji at Magashira 4, Oho at Magashira 8, Hira Deumi at Magashira 10, and Mitoryu at Magashira 15. Real quick, Flyric, which one of these guys do you think is going to do good at their career high rank? Who do you think is going to struggle?
There we go. I'm going to go with the Thrive. I talked him up a lot during the year-end award show, but Nishiki Fuji, I'm kind of a fan of this guy. Like I'm very curious to see how he does in this next year, and I think he's going to do quite well. So I think he's going to show he belongs at this rank, and also be knocking the door on the Sanyaki ranks sometime hopefully around this year, or at the very least Joy mainstay. And as for someone I don't think is going to do well, good old Mitoryu. He's been up and down, and I just do not think he's going to make it stick again. So I think he's going to take a dive. Mitoryu.
What about Jake? You got any other guys you're thinking?
I think Oho is coming into his own a little bit, steadily improving as opposed to the rocket ship trip to the top that Hoshoryu has taken. Those guys are going to get compared to each other until the day they die, no matter how their careers go. So yeah, I'm not
just like Naruto and Sasuke. Oh my goodness.
I'm not just hoping. I also am predicting that Oho will do well. And I think last Basho was a good indicator of where he is at right now. As for doing poorly, I got to disagree a little bit on Nishiki Fuji. I think that he would be, only because I would also have picked Mitoryu if I was starting this. But Nishiki Fuji, that might be one step that will be a tough one for him, moving into more of like the full Joy here, I guess. So we'll see.
Jake, I would like to put a prediction point down on this difference of opinion.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Kachikoshi versus Makekoshi?
Yeah. We could do direct record as well, because it might both Make Kachikoshi, or do you just want to have it even out?
I mean, like
if
Nishiki Fuji gets 8 or more, you get a point. If he gets 7 or less, I get a point.
Yes, effectively. Well, no, I guess, yeah, we could do it that way, just Kachikoshi. What happens if we both Kachikoshi, though?
If we
just have a negate out. Okay, so we're doing
I thought
two
we were only
comparisons.
betting on him. Yeah.
I thought we were doing comparisons of two different Rikshis. We can think of a different system.
Who's
I was saying,
who's the other rickshaw here?
oh, wait a second. Yeah, you're entirely right. We're just talking about Nishiki Fuji. I had Mitoryu in my mind.
Oh
whether or
no,
not
I'm definitely
to
not going
include
to
this
predict
as
him
well.
to do well either.
Okay. So
Hey,
now
Matt.
I have caught up to what you were talking about in everyone else. Yeah, we can do the
And Flyric's the
Kachikoshi.
one that started the conversation,
Yeah.
and
I
he's
know.
just now catching up to where the rest of us are at.
Okay, so yes, Flyric, I will bet you one prediction point that Nishiki Fuji gets a Makekoshi this time around.
right.
I will, yes.
And I will meet that with that. I think he's going to do well, and he's going to get the Kachikoshi.
All right, it is accepted. I say I approve it. Mac has been freed from the grasp of the warranty for
Purgatory.
his dishwasher company. I could see from the look on his face he approves of this this bet as well. So
But
Why
what if
not?
Mitoryu also gets a Kachikoshi?
Yeah,
then you
what
both
then?
lose 5 points.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Okay,
So-
what else we got here?
So Mac, we've
Yes.
got 6 rickshaw at their career highs.
Yes.
Who do you think is going to thrive at their career high rank? Who do you think is going to take a dive?
Who do I think is going to thrive? I think Oho is going to thrive.
All right. And what about take a dive? We're just doing this real quick now.
Hiradoumi.
Ooh.
All right. I'm going to take the 2 Komusubi. I think we've seen Koto Nawaka. He's been, I guess, thriving. He's been getting 9 wins consistently. Magashira 3, Magashira 2, Magashira 1. Komusubi's not really all that different. I think Koto Nawaka will thrive in his new role in the Sanyaku. Wakamoto Haru, I have not as high hopes for. He has never really been fully in the joy on any Bansuke. This is going to be his first time really facing a full Sanyaku schedule. I just think he's going to struggle with that a little bit more. So I think Wakamoto Haru will take a dive here in this Basho.
I
That's
kind of
right.
I would agree with you. I kind of feel like he's like a bubble that feels ready to burst, you know, like he's been doing pretty well, but like I don't trust it to continue.
Yeah. Just like maybe his brother, who's
Oh,
also up there.
Yeah,
Shut
Got some
up.
high
you
highs.
haven't missed a ton, but Flyric is going hard
Flyric's-
against Wakataka
Yeah.
today.
Fleric's still on that for some reason.
Okay. That's
Yeah, just
new.
just let the seed of doubt for Wakataka Kage and his brother Wakamoto Haru, and just like to slowly watch as like the story of them just being hot trash, a bubble, if you would, comes true.
Bubble.
So yeah, you don't have to accept it right now. You don't have to let the word of Flyric into your heart today, but just like keep an
Stop
open ear.
appropriating my meme.
All right. Typically we do, we're going to pick a rickshaw to talk about between all these ranks. We're going to skip that in the interest of time, but I do want to answer a question we have about one particular rickshaw that we got from one of our patrons, Rod Lunsford. So he mentioned to us that Midori Fuji had 16 Kata Tsukashi wins in 2022. Midori Fuji is well known for pulling off this maneuver. He pulls it off at a much higher rate than any other rickshaw in the top division does. He uses a Kata Tsukashi to win in 24.3% of his matches, and the overall rate of usage is just under 1%. So Midori Fuji is absolute. And I don't know how much Midori Fuji has brought up the rate of the Kata Tsukashi
Yeah, a lot of that is him.
to be just under 1%. So
It's like Aqua if he could land that stupid ass trip that he tries every match.
yeah. So Rod is asking us how many wins via Kata Tsukashi do we think Midori Fuji will get in 2023? I'm just going to say, I don't think 16. I'm going to go under 10, maybe 8 or 9. What we saw from Midori Fuji last year is he racked up 4 in the Hatsu Basho when he was in Juryo, 4 in the Haru Basho when he was in Juryo. He did get 4 in the Natsu Basho when he was at Magashira 16, and then he got none in Nagoya, and then in Aki and Kyushu, when he was facing the higher rankers, he only managed to get 2 wins via Katsukashi each time. So Midori Fuji, he's shown he could stick around at this higher level. So I have a feeling he's going to be facing much higher levels of competition this year. He's not going to be able to pull off that maneuver against these guys. It's what he's known for. Everybody's going to be looking for it. Everybody's going to be trying to defend it. So I think cut the number that he got last year in half.
It's a slightly less gimmicky version of Teratsuyoshi going for his Ashitori. Yeah, I was also gonna guess 8. Just cut it in half because he's gonna try it a lot, and he is still a wrestler on the rise, so he is still probably getting better in general. So he's gonna find those opportunities. But like it seems like it's just too gimmicky of a move to work reliably at the upper levels. So yeah, I totally agree with about half.
All right, so let's throw Mac into the deep end here. He hasn't heard any of our conversation about how we think Rikishi are going to do. But Mac, who do you have winning the Hatsu U show in a Yokozuna-less field?
In a Yokozuna-less field, that's a tough one. But my money would still be on Takakeisho.
All right. Give the YDC something to think about a possible Yokozuna promotion. Flyric, who's going to win the U show?
Yeah. Mac, you're so smart. Like even without the hours and hours of like the maybe hour, an hour of us, trying to talk Mac about stuff. You still know the correct answer in your heart. Takakeisho doing well, and yes, it is going to be Takakeisho wins this one with Nishiki Fuji Kachikoshi as well.
Yeah.
I see it in my mind's eye.
Right. Jake, who is winning this tournament?
I said it before, and I think I don't think I've been swayed Takakeisho, but like since they've already said him, I think what would be a dark horse candidate here? I think Takayasu could very well be in the conversation until late and maybe force another playoff loss or something.
Mm-hmm.
But
another
no one expects Takayasu to do well.
Either way, I think
much like the Spanish Inquisition.
I would love to see him there, and I do think that the sumo he's shown recently, he's going to be in the conversation. That'll be my pick.
I've got some hopes hanging on this in our year-long predictions that we're going to get to in just a little bit, but I'm going to go with Wakataka Kage winning the U show here.
Interesting.
Why not? Well, it is the Hatsu Basho, and that's typically the time for first-time U show winners. That streak of like 6 in a row was broken by Mitake Yumi last year. So that could mean a Takayasu U show, could mean a Hoshoryu U show.
Save the prevaricating for when the pick actually means something for our next segment here.
What? That is a new word for me. And it's not often that I'm hit with new words. What was that? What word did you say?
I mean, now you have me doubting that prevaricating is a word.
What did you mean? Prognostication?
Maybe.
Hold on, we're all Googling this.
No, here, to speak or act in an evasive way.
Okay.
Wow. He seemed to prevaricate when journalists asked pointed questions.
Okay.
So like,
new word for me. I like that. Thank you.
But no, like this pick doesn't have any weight to it, but we're gonna make some picks coming up here that do have some weight.
You know what? We've been doing this for 6 years now, 5.5 years. We've never actually done like, all right, who's gonna win the U show? Like that feels like the most basic thing we should be doing on the preview is just asking each of us who we think is gonna win the U show.
We usually do it at the
midway.
midway.
Done that. Yeah.
Well, yeah, but like there's 42 guys. We're gonna be wrong most of the time.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. But still,
we might as well talk about as many different things as we can. I think. I don't know.
Yeah, fair enough. All right. In Juryo, there's a bunch of young, exciting guys up at the top on the verge of Makuuchi promotion. We'll skip through that. Asanoyama is back in the salaried ranks now. But I do want to spend a little bit of time on an incident that dropped, I believe, the day after Christmas. And that is regarding Isegahama Oyakata and a very disturbing series of bullying events against one Rikishi in his stable. So Isegahama Oyakata is the Oyakata for Teruno Fuji, Nishiki Fuji, Takara Fuji, Teretsuyoshi, all of those guys. He is also the head of the Shinpan department, which puts together the Banskei's every Basho. He has retired from the JSA board due to a bullying scandal in his Heya, but he still remains as the head coach, as you will, for Isekahama stable. He just no longer serves a role on the JSA board. So Sumo follower on Twitter provided a full synopsis of what occurred, and so I'm just going to read that in its entirety. And just for people who might not be aware, JSA is Japan Sumo Association. That's how we say it in English. In Japan, it is referred to as the NSK, the Nippon Sumo Kyokai. It's the same body, so I'm going to reference the NSK as I read this. It's the same thing as the JSA.
The governing body, the
Yes.
NFL or the NHL or whatever have you.
So the matter came to the knowledge of the NSK via family member of a Rikishi who phoned them to complain that he was injured via bullying. This was on November 7th that the phone call occurred. The next day, the Rikishi himself phoned as well. The NSK asked Isekahama to let the alleged victim go Kyujo and go home, and then started an investigation. It turned out that there were 3 distinct incidents of violence as follows. At the end of April 2022, at the Isekahama Keikoba, lower division Rikishi A, in an attempt to discipline his junior, the victim B, beat him on the head with a push-up handle. Then, in the beginning of July, at the Chankoba, or kitchen, of the Nagoya lodging, A punched B in the abdominal area 4 to 5 times. He then stomped on the crouching B twice with his foot. Then, on August 7th, at the Chankoba in the Heya, A poured boiling Chanko liquid on B's back, scalding his back. In addition, another lower division Rikishi, C, who was less senior than A, also participated in the July occurrence. Feeling that B was still rebellious, he followed A's example and punched him 4 to 5 times, but he promptly apologized to B for it. All these guys are referenced as A, B, and C because the JSA does not release any information about Rikishi below the Juryo rank, so we do not know the identities of these Rikishi at this time. As we see some retirements and Kyujos in the Isekahama stable, we'll probably figure out who they are. But at this time, we don't know names. So the compliance committee drew these conclusions. 1, A has no place at the Kyokai and he should get a recommendation to retire. And 2, C, because it was a single incident, he immediately apologized and considering his young age and potential should be suspended. Isekahama,
I hate that they reference his potential.
Mm-hmm.
That's a completely separate topic, but I just want to make it clear. I hate that. Yeah.
I felt the same way. I'm like, okay, the rest of the stuff that makes sense. I don't care how good he might be. That should be
relevant. Anyways, sorry to interrupt.
Isekahama did not learn per the NSK, Isekahama did not learn the lesson from the Haruma Fuji incident and did not create an atmosphere in the Heya that deterred violence and allowed victims to complain to him. Furthermore, he failed to report the scalding incident, though he was aware of it. Therefore, Isekahama is judged unfit to be an executive officer in the NSK and should be demoted. Rikishi A quit, and Isekahama handed in his Intai documents for him, so his side ended there. Rikishi C will be suspended for the Hatsu and Haru Bashos, and Isekahama resigned from the board. This is automatically a demotion, and thus no further demotion comes from the side of the NSK.
Resigned from the board, but he's still actively coaching, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So just a very sad incident that we were kind of all hoping we were past in this day and age, as the JSA has been more gung-ho about anti-bullying against Sukebitos and all of that, but that's obviously still occurring in some way, shapes, and forms, and hopefully this coming to light will just bring further education to how to prevent this and open up other oyakata to, if they hear about it, putting an immediate stop to it, reporting it to the JSA, and getting the offending members out of sumo, as there is no place for this in any sport or any location anywhere.
If you are new to sumo, check out the situation behind Yokozuna Haruma Fuji retiring. Very similar thing, just a higher profile because it was a Yokozuna doing the bullying. Mm-hmm. But yeah, physical bullying has been a thing in sumo for ages, and that is absolutely no excuse to continue it. But like it's it's something that keeps coming up every now and then, that, you know, people are continuing the old ways of just being an absolute ass to their juniors. And yeah, I'm glad we've kind of moved to the point where that's not cool anymore.
All right. Do we want to take a break here, or since we already took a break earlier to get Mac on, do we just want to power through?
Power through. That's my vote.
All right. Jake, give us an update on the GSB belt and just explain what the GSB belt is for anybody that might be listening for the first time.
Yeah, GSB belt is just something that we keep track of. Has absolutely no stakes for anyone, and the winners of the belt have no idea they've done so. But
It's all made up. The points don't matter.
yes, exactly. It's a very whose line is it anyway kind of thing. But we started this. The original one was back in mid 2019, and then we started a new one in mid 2021. But basically, when the belt is vacant or we have decided to start a new one, we just take the very first match of the next Basho. The winner of that match holds the GSB belt, and whoever beats that guy takes the belt away from them. And we see how long it takes for the belt to get all the way from the very first match of a Basho all the way up to a Yokozuna. So hopefully Teruno Fuji doesn't retire anytime soon, and we don't have to leave the belt in limbo there. But no, so to be the man, you got to beat the man is the situation. In Natsu of 2021, Byakuen beat Shonan Sakura to start our second iteration of the GSB belt. And for the, 11th time in a row, the belt almost got to Juryo and then just got bumped right back down to Upper Makushita.
I think it's been a full year at this point.
Yeah, it's been a while.
In Makushita.
Let's see. We hit single digit Makushita. Yes, exactly a full year. So we have gone nowhere in 2022. So basically what happened was a guy who was going to get promoted into Juryo lost at the last second to a guy who is in mid Makushita. Therefore, the guy in mid Makushita keeps the belt, gets promoted to upper Makushita, and we recycle the process.
Yep.
So right now it is on Tamashoho. Makushita 1 East, the absolute singular top guy in the division. Just sitting there with the belt. He's going to go 6-0, and then he's going to lose to Narutaki or something.
Yep, that's
Makushita
exactly
22.
what's going to happen.
Just so you know, don't get your hopes up.
Yep.
But I'll update on the midway, and then I will get senselessly drunk celebrating if it actually makes it up to Juryo for our recap.
Or senselessly drunk to drown your sorrows in it remaining in Makushita yet again.
You're right. I should probably just go ahead either way.
Yeah. So that moves us to our Champ Chump prediction series. Me being the loser of the last prediction series, I get the first pick, and you might think that I'm a bit of a hypocrite having chosen Wakataka Kage to win the Yusho. I'm gonna. There's not really, like Jake said, there was no stakes on that question.
But now there's
some stakes on this, so I'm gonna take Takakeisho off the board and add him to my stable here.
We all see where what your true opinion is now. Let's go.
When the points finally matter.
Yeah.
Unlike some wimpy fair weather fans, I am gonna pick Taka friggin' Yasu as my champ. I'm gonna money and mouth, same place. They go there.
Then I guess I shall take Wakataka Kage.
Oh, thank goodness.
Ooh.
Hey, what?
Flyric did not have a backup pick, I don't think.
Yeah, I am so glad. I was worried you were gonna pick Abi, and I would have no one to pick.
No,
yeah, I'll go with Abi as my last pick.
Oh, all right. So Flyric may be kind of going back on some words he might have spoken earlier in the episode.
Yeah. Well, did I talk trash about Abi? I didn't think
I don't know. It wasn't
like
here.
I said, you can't use Flyric's words against him because he already forgot.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
That strategy works on me as well, by the way.
Yeah. But Flyric, you do get first choice for your chump. Who do you think will have just a god awful Basho?
Oh my goodness. And who will have known I will be the first one to pick my chump?
Everybody. That's how
There's
it
no
works.
way we could have predicted
No,
this.
there's no way we could have prepared for this.
You know, I'm also gonna put the money where my mouth is, or mouth where my money is. Mitoryu. I don't think he's going to do well.
All right. Mac.
I shouldn't have said it that way because I got you all tied up in knots now, don't I, Flick?
Oh yeah.
Um,
I'm not sure which one's the actual quote or not.
this one is I don't know how smart this one is, but I'm going to go Tobizaru.
Okay.
I'm also
mean-
extremely tired and just completely unfazed. So what happens,
Hey,
happens.
works out all the better for us. I'm tired of losing this, so by all means.
I'm going to pick the surest thing in the world, and that is a Makekoshi for Azumaryu when he gets to the top division.
Now I have to think.
Yeah, so how many tries is he? He is 0 for 10.
Yeah.
He's 0 for 10 getting a winning record in the top division.
I don't know. I feel like the bottom of the division is a good place to mine right now because Tsurugisho's not really going to do a whole lot in the top division. Neither is Chiyomaru.
Right. Those guys are both like they bounce back and forth a little bit, just like Azumaryu. We had a name for these guys, didn't we, Mac?
The Gatekeepers.
The Gatekeepers.
There you go.
Shoot, this is tough. I refuse to believe that Sada Naomi can stay in this range of the Bansuke unimpeded for too much longer. It is time for a reckoning for Sada Naomi.
Yep. That also a good one that I was keeping an eye on, but yeah, I feel like this is a good Bansuke to be like pretty secure in your like 6 or 7 win picks, but I don't think we'll know until the Basho starts who's going to have like a catastrophic Basho.
Yeah. And I was close to picking Wakamoto Haru, but I didn't want to have to cheer against Wakamoto Haru. I like him. So I have no problem rooting against Sada Naomi. In fact, that's my usual state of being. So.
Oh, dang. I should have picked Wakamoto Haru.
Too late.
It's too late. So, Jake, it is time for us to go back to the Takayasu teacup of punishments, petty cash, and Patreon compliments. Reach deep in there and let us know what our punishment will be for this tournament. It's a new year, so that means a sumo song is back in the cup. Sumo erotica is back in the cup. Our options have grown as we eliminated them all through the series of events last year. So, Jake,
out of the cup, I have plucked a digital D4 that I'm going to roll.
Ooh.
For it is a number 3, which means we have the D20 of doom.
The D20 of doom.
That's right. So what that means is the loser will have to roll a D20 and they will have to say whatever. We're going to assign phrases or things for them to say for each number on a D20, and they will have to say those things, as embarrassing or as blatant lies as they are. They will have to stand by those. So
phrases selected by the winner.
Yes. Or the people who didn't lose.
And the compatriots.
You know if I didn't
I
win,
won't bother coming up with 20 myself. Yes, I understand. Yeah.
Yes. All right.
But next, Ryan, you have another treat for us.
I do have a treat for you, as it is time for me to cash in my punishment from the Kyushu Basho. We determined that it would be a Dr. Seussian story. We talked about, hey, we've got a big break between the end of the Basho and the start of the Basho, so it can't be just some 2-paragraph affair. So I've got something that is the equivalent of a Dr. Seuss book. It is basically the same word count as the Cat in the Hat, which is a lot longer book than I initially realized. So, Jake, if you would. The Abi Tsupari. Abi woke up this day, primed and ready to go. He had a match to win against his wicked foe. He awoke to no sun, he awoke to no light. It was still 3 a.m., but Abi had to fight. Through his heya he sought for just one thing to brawl, just a little warm-up, just a small one, that's all. What he saw wasn't much, just his boys, just a few. They may not be tough, but, I guess they will do. He started with one, his junior named Oki. His chest slapped so fast that it was left smoky. Abi did not stop there, oh no, not by a mile. Abi had just started, he would go for a while. He thrust against his neck, he kicked out at his knee. He slapped him in the face, he fought him with much glee. Abi struck and he struck, then he struck him some more. If I could take one, he thought, then I can take four. He woke up Amane and Ito and Seigo. He woke up Shogun too, just to stroke his ego. You'd think they might protest, might object or complain, but these were Abi's boys. They loved to help him train. 5v1, that's unjust. No, that's not fair at all. But you don't know Abi. He will always stand tall. He dispatched Amane with a push and a shove, then a flying elbow from way up high above. Oki and Ito were next. Together they stood. They tried their best to win. They could, they should, they would. But Abi took them on, with no fear in his eyes. A quick trip and a throw, from that they did not rise. Abi took down that pair, moved on to the last two. Just Shogun and Seigo were the end of his crew. He beat them both with ease, to their knees did they drop. The look in their eyes said, surely it's time to stop. But Abi did not stop. Oh no, stop, he did not. Now that he got going, how to stop he forgot. The Abi Tsupari brings you to your knee. The Abi Tsupari is dreadful to see. After this training sesh, he tended to their aches. He cares for his juniors, a stronger man that makes. At long last it was time, his last match of the week. He gave Itsuke Bitos a goodbye kiss on the cheek. The time was now, right now, to begin his final bout. He must prove beyond any doubt that Abi is much more than any understand. He is more than a man, he is something quite grand. His fists touched down on the clay, but his rival stood true. A mata was called for. It's time for a redo. He was antsy to start because today he knew, once he got it going, that all hell would ensue. Abi tried once again without further ado, but what he got instead was mata number 2. He seethed and he raged, he ranted and he raved, but only in his head, because his face behaved. Abi tried one more time to make sure with his foe. Their fists they would align. It's time to start the show. Mata 1, Mata 2, there'll be no Mata 3. He waited for his foe. Their fists both touched. Yippee! Abi charged at his foe with spirit and with pride, but he missed and he whiffed, for his foe stepped aside. Abi slid and he skid, but he had not yet stopped. He skimmed, he skated, on his ass he near plopped. As his feet touched the rope, his balance was regained. He thought about his boys and the times that they trained. He could not lose like this. He would not. He could not. He would do this for them. His boys were why he fought. Abi turned back around. He turned and he burned with a fiery passion and a rage that was earned. His foe paled when he saw the spirit in his eye. The match was lost, he knew. He might even die. Abi's arms were a blur. They sped and they whipped. They tore through the air as they zoomed and they zipped. They struck with a force that his foe never knew. It felt like 50 fists, or more like 52. Abi's foe was pushed back, with nowhere left to go. He stepped out of the ring. He stepped off the dohyo. But that was not enough. Not for Abi this day. Abi kept on going, to everyone's dismay. No person would be safe, no Shimpan or Gyoji. It's time for all to run, even Yobidashi. Chaos reigned supreme as Abi tore through the hall. No adult, no child safe. Abi would get them all. Abi struck one old man, then got number 2. He slapped a man in red, then slapped a man in blue. Man, woman, and child, they all began to drop. Echoes rang through the hall, begging him to stop. But Abi did not stop. Oh no, stop he did not. Now that he got going, how to stop he forgot. The Abi Tsupari rolled over land and sea. The Abi Tsupari caused onlookers to flee. Abi roared through the crowd. His ruckus cleared the stands. They ran to the gift shop, quite fearful of his hands. Abi chased and he chased. He hunted and he stalked. His bloodlust not sated, fear followed as he walked. He destroyed the gift shop, broke each and every mug. He even ripped apart that Takayasu rug. Tegatas went flying. Towels were torn to shreds. Zabutons became ammo as they were flung at people's heads. All shirts and fans were gone, as if you had to ask. He even tore apart every rickshi's mask. A small hat fluttered down out of the smoke-filled sky onto a poor stray cat that was slinking nearby. The cat sat and pondered. It pondered as it sat. Now that took an odd turn, said the cat in the hat. At this point you might think that Abi had enough, that he had made his point. He showed us he was tough. But when he stepped outside, the bright sun made him glow. And then to all surprise, his size began to grow. Abi grew and he grew. He grew to twice his size, taller than the trees and roofs. He almost scraped the skies. The buildings that had once stood tall above it all now looked up at Abi, then for once they felt small. Abi stood in wonder. He held power and strength. What he once lacked in girth, he made up for in length. He opened up his mouth. Out came a frightful roar. No, Abi did not stop. He hungered for more. He began his rampage, his destruction frenzy, by stepping on someone, a poor girl named Mackenzie. Now killing somebody could work up quite a thirst. He knew what he needed. He knew where to go first. He stomped over to where the drinks were served in jars. Then he scooped them all up, the taverns, pubs, and bars. He downed them one by one, swallowed them in one bite. Now that he had his drink, he could show off his might. Every step that he took destroyed the city streets. The highways and bridges crumbled beneath his feet. Churches were sent flying, the post offices too. I'm also sorry to say he yorikiri'd the zoo. To the elephants he gave a swift oshidashi. Giraffes and rhinos got a katatsukashi. There was one little monkey that reached his chonmage. For his troubles he received a brutal uwatenage. He took the fox and the ox and put them in a box. He put some crocs in the box and then he added hawks. He hurled that box with the fox and the very angry ox and the crocs and the hawks at least 87 blocks. He threw a bear in the air, then added in a mare. He joined a hare to that pair, juggling them with no care. People would stare with despair at the state of disrepair. They said a prayer and a swear for the whole sad affair. His blind rage continued all throughout the day. Not even the army could stand in Abi's way. Fire stations were burning. The people were looting. From Tokyo Bay, battleships were shooting. Abi cared not for the things that he broke. He really was quite a despicable bloke. But one thing that he spied through the rubble and smoke caused Abi to startle, and then somebody spoke. "It's us! It's your boys!" said someone down below. Abi now recognized that the voice was Seigo. "Abi, it's time that you stop this rodeo. Abi, you need to stop destroying Tokyo." And then Abi did stop. Keep going he could not. Now that he was slowing, why he rampaged he forgot. The words from Abi's boys struck him straight through the heart. He began to feel bad for tearing Tokyo apart. It wasn't for the love for his wife or his kid. It wasn't for sadness for the things that he did. The one thing that stopped him in his most awful brawl was the love for his boys, the strongest thing of all. It's really just a heartwarming tale about
Bravo.
the love that a man has for
Bravo.
his
Boys.
boys, for hanging with the boys.
Mhm.
The boys.
All right, so now it is time for us to get into our year-long predictions, what we think the sumo world is going to look like at the end of the year 2023. So Jake, why don't you tell us how many Yokozuna you think we are going to have at the end of the year and who those Yokozuna will be?
God, this sucks. Like, is Teruno Fuji gonna hang on? Because I already feel like we've entered the stage where he's just showing up every now and then pulling out or something. Just the health issues that we've been predicting for years. I'm gonna say there will be one Yokozuna. Do I still get a point if I get the name wrong?
Yeah, you get a point for if you have the number of Yokozuna
Yeah, okay.
correct, and then you get a point if the name is also correct.
Yeah, I'll say Takakeisho. I'm pretty sure I did
Okay.
almost the same thing last year.
No, I think you had Teruno Fuji and Takakeisho.
Man, forever optimistic.
All right, Mac, how many Yokozuna at the end of the year and who will they be?
I'm also going to go with one, and I will also say Takakeisho.
It hurts to say it, doesn't it?
It does. I don't like it.
I like him just
Uh,
fine. I hate it as a pick, though.
Right.
Flyric, how about you?
Interesting. Mac and Jake, you're very, very smart and intelligent people because you got exactly correct. There's only going to be one Yokozuna by the end of next year, and it's going to be Takakeisho.
Thank you, time traveler Flyric, for confirming that we are correct.
No problem.
You guys are half right. We're gonna have one Yokozuna at the end of the year, but it's gonna be Teruno Fuji still.
Ooh.
Those knees are gonna be surgically repaired. He's gonna be back kicking ass for at least 4 more tournaments at the end of the year. Who knows about 2024?
Or at least 7 more tournaments.
Or at
Yeah,
least 7 more turns.
I believe
Six
in the
fives.
surgically repaired knees and having a 3 Basho and having a 6-month break from Sumo. That should be enough to get him to the end of the year in my eyes. So we'll have 1 Yokozuna and it will be Terano Fuji.
He'll like retire on January 4th or something next year, like
Yeah.
after sitting out the entire year, and you'll still get a point, and it'll make me so angry.
I mean, if that's how it ends up, I will be very happy.
Yeah.
All right. Mac, how many Ozeki will we have at the end of the year, and who will they be?
I shall say there will be 2 Ozeki, and the names of said Ozeki will be Wakataka Kage and Hoshoryu.
All right, Flyric, how about yourself?
That is a very good question. I will also go with 2. And it's going to be Hoshoryu as one of them. But I cannot bring myself to say Wakataka Kage, so I'm not going to. I think I'm going to believe in a resurgence from Kiribayama, or a surgence from Kiribayama. He's going to pull together some.
Okay.
He's going to develop like a fine wine into an
Not a
Ozeki.
resurgence, but a surgence.
A surgeon.
For me, I am going to go with, I'm going to be absolutely super positive, just an out of the realm number of 3 Ozeki at the end of the year. And we're going to go with Takakeisho, holding on, holding strong. I do got Wakataka Kake joining him there, and I do have Hoshoryu joining him there as well. This might be just a bit of wish casting on my part, but hopefully it would be nice, wouldn't it?
Please.
What about you, Jake?
Nope, Asanoyama can't quite make it in my book.
I counted
No,
that as well.
no,
yeah.
nope. I already thought about that one too.
God, I hate how I hate how much we suck at like seeing the future, and it's just like, well, right now it looks like Wakataka Kage Hoshoryu and maybe
exactly.
Takayasu or something, right?
Well, I mean, if look at our 2022 predictions, like at the beginning of the year, we had 1 Yokozuna. At the end of the year, we had 1 Yokozuna, Terano Fuji. At the beginning of the year, we had 2 Ozeki, Takakeisho and Shodai. At the end of the year, we had
Takayumi came and went already.
yeah, Takayumi came and went, and then we had Takakeisho still there, and Shodai just dropped.
You're right.
So-
Nothing ever changes.
Nothing ever changes.
Exactly. Yeah. I'll say 3. I'll do the same, but I'll toss in Takayasu out of optimism.
All right, so
so
just
who do you got?
for clarity's sake, Takayasu, Wakataka Kake, and Hoshoryu.
I don't see anybody else doing as well as those 3 soon, but yeah.
All right,
I
the
hate
big
all my
one.
picks already.
The big one for the year, Flyric. Who will our 6 Yusho winners be?
Oh shit. Okay. Well, okay. Who did I say are going to become an Ozeki?
You
Okay.
have
Hoshoryu and
Hoshoryu and
Kiribayama.
Kiribayama.
All right. Hoshoryu's going to get 1. Kiribayama's not going to get there. He's not going to get 1.
Okay.
I'll give a couple from Terano Fuji. That's 3. Who else is going to get 1 of these?
I would hope Takakeisho.
Takakeisho? Oh, that's a good point.
Many.
All right. We'll go 2 Takakeisho. I'll take 1 from Terano Fuji because I think that brings me to 5, right?
Yep, you're at 5.
Yeah, and I will actually give 1 to Takayasu this year. I know he has at least a Jin Yusho, I do firmly believe. But also, I think he might get that Yusho.
How kind of you to just offer that up to Takayasu like that.
I know.
All right.
I am a very, just a very nice person to Takayasu, aren't I?
You are. All right, here's how it's going down. So Hatsu, Wakataka Kage takes the cake. This will
If he wins a different Yusho, it doesn't count then.
no. This is just how I made my predictions. I did it in a like this in my
Okay.
head.
That's fine. Like, tell the story of the year of sumo, of how
yeah,
it's going to go down.
So Wakataka Kage wins here in Hatsu. He rolls that into an Ozeki promotion after another good performance in Haru. We get Takakeisho coming up one Basho too late to win the Haru Basho and not quite get the Yokozuna promotion. We got Terano Fuji coming in strong for the Natsu Basho, coming in off of his repaired knees. By this time, Asanoyama is going to be, he'll probably already have been in the division, but he'll probably be mid Magashira at this point. Asanoyama is going to win a Yusho from the mid Magashira ranks in Nagoya. Terano Fuji is still Yokozuna. He's going to reign supreme in Aki. And then Hoshoryu, following a strong Nagoya and Aki, finally putting it all together, wins a Yusho.
Interesting.
Okay.
So Wakataka Kage, Takakeisho, Terano Fuji ×2, Asanoyama, Hoshoryu.
Okay, you're gonna have to type all that out.
I've already got it.
You
in,
write
like,
it.
Okay.
For me, I'm gonna say 2 Takakeisho, a Takayasu, Hoshoryu, Terano Fuji, and sprinkle in a Mitakayumi.
I shall also go with 1 Wakataka Kage, 1 Hoshoryu, 1 Terano Fuji, 2 Takakeisho, and a Mitakayumi on top.
All right.
As a treat.
Hold on.
As a
You guys typed those out a lot faster than or said them a lot faster than I can.
Oh, I already typed
we've
them
already
up in the
typed them on
outline.
Yeah,
the
they're already
outline.
typed in.
You're the only one that hasn't typed anything.
Oh, because I'm actually putting them in the actual sheet where we're gonna follow and keep track. Got it. Okay, I'll just go back.
Type things
I'll go back and get those later.
Yeah.
Shut up.
All right. I typed them somewhere. They're
exactly.
out there.
They're there.
All right, so now we are going to figure out who is going to have the most wins at the end of the year. And
This was the most disappointing one. This one cut us all.
This especially the number of wins last year. But I'm gonna say Hoshoryu ends up with the most wins in 2023, and I'm gonna say he averages just a little over 10 wins a Basho and gets 61 wins.
That's a lot. I'm gonna say Hoshoryu as well, but I'm gonna say 55.
I've got Hoshoryu winning a Yusho and making it to Ozeki, so he's got to get 33 over 3. So
I'm gonna go with Wakataka Kage, and I'm going to say 58.
yeah, these numbers are a lot lower than we had them last year.
Well,
we
because
got
we
split
learned.
by
It's like, well,
Hakuh.
now hang on.
Yeah, Hakuh won like what 86 out of 90 matches possible
Exactly.
a couple times or something ridiculous.
And nobody's having a bust out performance, so there's no way you're gonna go for the high numbers.
Yeah. I'll go with Takakeisho, and I'll kind of highball it a little bit. I'll go 70.
All right.
Hey, he's a Yokozuna in Flyric's world. It makes sense.
Yeah.
All right. Which non-Sanyaku Rikishi will be in the Sanyaku ranks for the Kyushu 2023 Basho?
I almost feel like I'm cheating here, but I'm going to go Asanoyama.
All right.
That's
what
a good
about you,
prediction.
Mac?
I'm gonna go with Hokuseiho.
Ooh, big year for Hokuseiho.
Ooh, wow. Yeah.
Flyric, what about you?
Kyushu Basho. So like in 5 bonds case from now.
Yeah.
5 bonds case from now.
Interesting. That is kind of a good cheating one. I will go with our, tried and true. Reliable is like meat and potatoes. Mitakayumi.
Yeah, I was gonna
Yeah,
say
Ozeki.
fair.
I'm also going to be cheating like Jake, but just in a different way. Mitakayumi. Gonna take the safe point.
Those
Yeah,
are both
I'm
pretty
all
cheap,
right.
but
I'm the wild card on this one. Okay.
Hey, I hope you're right, Mac. That would be
I
awesome.
want to be right.
All right. And then we're adding in this question this year. I thought it would work here because we got another question from our patron Rod Lunsford. He was just asking us how many Rikishi will make their Makuuchi debut in 2023. Don't try to figure out who they're going to be. Don't give me any names.
Yeah, no
Just
way.
want your number. For reference, I believe we had 7 make their Makuuchi debut last year. 2 made their Makuuchi debut in 2021. So, Mac, how many Rikishi do you have making their Makuuchi debut in 2023?
I'm gonna say 8. 8
Ooh.
seems like a nice number.
That'd be a fun number. Love seeing the new blood.
This-
What about
this-
you, Flyric?
Does this include the Hatsu Bansuke?
There are no newcomers.
There are
on
no new
Hatsu
ones in this one.
Bansuke.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I guess I'm whether or not. I guess it doesn't matter if there's
Yeah.
none. It's in
It
5. You
would-
said.
Yeah, it would be the total number tallied from Hatsu 2023 to Kyushu 2023.
All right, and you said there were 7 last year.
7
believe.
last year.
Okay,
I'm gonna say one more.
I'll go 5.
5.
Flyric is thinking the same thing I'm thinking. So I'm gonna go with 5 as well.
I was gonna go 5. I'll say 6 though.
All right.
I'll be a contrarian.
All right.
All right, so we've got our 2023 predictions locked in here. I will keep track of the score throughout the year. We will promptly not mention this again, probably until the Kyushu Basho. In addition,
Oh yeah, we made predictions in January,
Yeah.
didn't we?
Yep. Like,
Yep.
oh,
And it-
hey, wait.
yeah. In addition to any points we might have scored for these predictions, any Champ Chump series wins will be added to our tally, and whoever has the highest score at the end of 2023 will be the Dai Yokozuna of 2023, which I can still see the afterglow on Flyric for being the Dai Yokozuna of 2022.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's life changing. I'll tell you what.
Absolutely, it is. I tasted it once in 2021, and I yearn for it. I long for it. I need it.
The Gollum effect.
Yeah.
My
Um,
precious.
Real quick, if you hadn't had a chance yet, go to Twitter if you still have Twitter and put an entry in our bold predictions thread. The person who has the best prediction for what will happen in the Hatsu 2023 Basho will win a free Grand Sumo Breakdown t-shirt. And I do have a little surprise for everybody.
It's a quiz
No, it's not a quiz.
Yay!
It's a box.
Oh.
with a
And
quiz in it.
Inside
What's in
this
the box?
for Jake, we have his I don't remember what they're called, but they're like the curtains that you ordered from bigsumofan.com.
Nice.
There you go.
What I already did that though.
Yeah.
That was my
It just came in.
Hakuho.
What's that?
That was my Hakuho. What?
Oh.
Oh, you bought it?
Yeah, I'm gonna go back in our text messages because we miscommunicated.
Clearly.
What else you got in
Oopsies.
there?
I've got a royal blue mini Zabuton for Jake.
Like this one?
Nice.
Yeah, like that one. So clearly there's some miscommunication. But
Oopsies.
I also have a red mini Zabuton for myself. And
Nice.
I also have a purple Zabuton and a green Zabuton.
Ooh.
One
Also
for
for Ryan.
Flyric. Yes, also for me. No, one for Flyric and one for Mac. I will let you two fight about what colors you would prefer.
Ooh.
Um,
I could legit go either way, Mac.
Same here.
Okay.
As Daiokozuna, Flyric, my gift to you as Daiokozuna, you choose.
All right, let's put up this the chance. Do you have like a virtual D2 dice in that Takayasu
It's
cup
called a
with
coin.
petty cash?
Yeah, it is called a coin.
Flyric, right hand or left hand?
Okay, this is my
That's much
right hand or
easier. I
left
like
hand?
that.
No, I'm
Oh, no,
holding
Ryan.
one in my right hand and one in my left hand. Just say one of those and you'll get that color.
Okay, like a literal number one or figurative number one?
Nishiki Fuji.
I'll go with left hand.
All right, Flyric gets the green one. Matt gets the purple.
Purple.
Let's go.
In addition to that, I also bought some Rikshi magnets.
Oh, is that Hokuto Fuji?
Hard to tell. Doesn't want to focus. This one is Teru no Fuji.
Oh.
We've got a Hoshoryu, and I apologize, Jake. They were all sold out of Takayasu. They also have a Hakuho. I figured anybody would be happy with a Hakuho magnet. There's a Wakataka Kage magnet currently sitting on my fridge. So I figured I would let the three of you fight for who got the remaining three.
Okay, cool.
We don't have to do that now, but at some point.
Next time we meet.
And now I've got
We
to
will fight.
figure something out to do with these freaking $50 curtains that Jake told me to buy.
What?
and then bought for
Well
himself.
played.
I swear to God, it was like, well, I'm looking at these things and these things, but they're more than $20. So what if I just buy things on my own and then you Venmo me 20? I thought is where we left it.
It probably is, but that doesn't mean that's how I interpreted
Oops.
it.
We'll figure that out later. Over, I don't know. We'll sumo for it or something.
Yep, no, that's exactly what you said. And then I said that works for me, but
It's-
clearly I interpreted that sentence a completely different direction. So
Oops.
maybe I'll find a good spot for those curtains.
Well, I can tell you, I'm very happy with my purchase. But
It's as freaky as the Michael Myers mask. Just flip it inside out.
oh, that's what we're doing next. We're gonna remake movies. The next punishment is gonna be like you gotta act out the scenes, not just write them for a movie.
Oh, God.
Yes.
And then here is Sumo Halloween. Oh,
Just somebody
that'd be
just
funny.
standing there in a mawashi with either some mizu or salt, just be like,
Oh, terrible.
All right.
but brilliant.
What is everybody most excited for this Basho? We'll start with myself. The Sekiwake situation, like I said before, we've got 4 Sekiwake that are all kind of knocking on the door. I think possibly any one of them with 13 to 14 wins, with the exception of maybe Takayasu, could reach the Ozeki rank. So just kind of seeing what happens with those guys, who will kind of step up and stake their claim to the Ozeki rank, or will all 4 of them crumble and will be left in the same shit pile that we're currently in. So that's what I'm most excited to see play out this Basho. What about you, Mac?
I think for me, what I'm most excited about is just to see who's going to break out. I mean, Teruno Fuji obviously is, even though his knees have been reconstructed, again, it's still just a matter of time. And I want to see somebody step up, whether it's Takakeisho, Wakataka Kage, Hoshoryu. I don't care. Somebody needs to step up, and I'm excited to see that this year.
What about you, Jake?
I get to begin the long, arduous process of indoctrinating my son into watching sumo.
I don't think it's going to stick for right now,
Yeah.
Jake. I'm going to go out on a limb here.
He will never, ever in his life know what it's like to not watch sumo wrestling. That's what we're doing. That's the process we're starting. And yeah, that's what I'm most excited for, is waking up too early for work so that I can just sit on the couch, pretend that I am awake, feeding him a bottle or changing a blowout or whatever, and just watching sumo wrestling.
He reaches kindergarten. He's like, Hakuh I, bam, and just starts destroying
He'll
people.
be very confused why none of the other children even know what that sport
Yeah,
is.
absolutely. Hadn't thought about that. Flyric, what are you most excited for the Hatsu 2023 Basho?
For the eventual 3-way playoff that's going to happen against Takakeisho, Abi, and Takayasu as well. So
Ooh, a replay.
A repeat.
that'll be fun. But this time, also Takakeisho and also Kiribayama, they better start putting up some wins.
Doing something.
Yeah.
So yeah, like watching my my happiness just slowly seep from me as they inevitably disappoint will be a joy. Or they do well, and then everything. I'm gonna get another repeat Yokozuna. So
Oh,
either
that'd
of
be
those would be
unbearable.
really good.
All right, so that will wrap up our Hatsu 2023 preview episode. The Basho will get started on Sunday, January 8th. We will have our midway episode shortly after day 8 concludes, and we will have our recap episode shortly after day 15 concludes. Keep an eye out for both of those podcasts. I don't think we're going to have any other podcasts coming out between those. So we will see you next time when those episodes drop.
Thank you for listening to Grand Sumo Breakdown.
Until next time,
Throw your salt high.
And keep moving forward.